Hey Centra, thanks so much for tuning in once again for Wellness Wednesday. We are currently dedicating our wellness space to COVID updates and well-being around COVID. However, before we get into that today, we do want to talk about a few things that are ongoing. We are still running an organization and caring for people that are not affected by COVID. And so although we are preparing and we're working to prevent and treat, we want to be mindful of some ongoing things that are still taking place. So the first thing that we want to remind you about today is the dependent eligibility verification. That's a mouthful, but that is still in process. First, we want to thank all of the caregivers that have already participated. We have had over 89%,
89%, yeah.
Aubrey, to be exact, that have participated. Thank you so much for doing that. For the additional 11%, we want to encourage you to go ahead and not delay to send in your information. We are nearing the next deadline. We certainly don't want anyone to lose benefits. Remember, this is not an active or not a passive verification process. So you do have to respond. So we want to remind you about that. The other thing that we want to talk to you about is TB screening. Every year in April, usually from April 1st to April 30th, we're required to go in and fill out information.
It's so simple. I did mine this morning. It's a couple of questions.
Yeah.
And then you click to sign off. So
yeah, like 60 seconds.
Very quick.
Really doesn't take a long time at all. But based on what's going on right now, being very mindful of what is going on in the current state of things around COVID, we are going to extend that deadline to June 15th. So you do have, if you've got time now, go ahead and get it done. Like Aubrey said, it's really quick, but in the event that you're not able to, we are going to extend that deadline to June 15th. Okay, so that's ongoing work. And if you'll notice,
we're doing our part.
We're doing our part. Our social distancing, we're a good 6 feet apart today. And so that kind of rolls us into our COVID updates for this week. And so Aubrey, let's first talk about self-care.
Yes.
Okay.
Love it.
You're the self-care kind of guru. So tell us everything about self-care that we need to know. What's going on this week around self-care with Centra?
Yeah, so there's a lot of great things happening. Of course, we want to remind you to take care of yourself. It's really important in times like these to make sure you're taking time out of your day to get some activity in. That probably looks a little bit different these days than it did in the past with our gyms closed. And but it's been beautiful out a lot of the time. Maybe not the last day or so, but it's been beautiful out. Get outside, take a walk. Enjoy your family as you can. So just reminders to do that. There's online resources available as well. But some of the other things that we want to remind you about that you can do as well to stay healthy. If you happen to be working from home during this season or spending more time at home, maybe schooling your children, we want to think about some tips and ways that we can stay healthy ergonomically.
Yeah.
April is actually ergonomic month. And our friends at HealthWorks have put together, I've been holding this, but a really cool sheet and some tips about how you can be ergonomically healthy outside of your office walls. So we will make sure and include those tips with this video link, but it will also be available on your wellness portal that you can do as well. Some of the other things that we want you to be aware of, we don't have all the details yet, but we want people to keep participating in our Well Power incentive campaign. It's going to look a little bit differently in the next several months. We know that all of our due dates are about September 30 for that program, and we are making some updates to the program to make sure that you can participate, complete the requirements, and don't have to worry about some of the things that were required that you might not be able to do anymore. So stay tuned for more information about that. Some other things as you continue to take care of yourself through this season, our friends at iMed, if you have our vision through Centra, have some resources available about how to stay connected online to their resources. So we'll make that available to you as well if you have our vision services. And then finally, one of the things I really want to keep top of mind as well is our employee assistance program. Really important in this season to make sure you know they are available to you at any time that you might need them. We will have their contact information in this email. We will make sure to have you receive all the up-to-date information from them as well. They still can see you and make appointments with you all as needed. And so we just want to make sure that resource is top of mind as needed.
Yeah, such a great resource. This is such a difficult time. The fact that we don't really know how long we're going to be in the midst of all of this, and especially from a caregiver population and trying to simultaneously help kids through school and working and all of the different things that just life requires of us, and it can be a very difficult season. And so the employee assistance program is just such a good tool.
Yes.
So thanks for all that. And so as we talk about, we've talked about self-care. Now let's talk about resources. We know that with closures and life just changing and evolving and being fluid around COVID-19, that a lot of resources are at a shortage right now for our caregivers, not just for our caregivers, for all of our community. But we talked last week about childcare resources. We've had really good response.
Absolutely.
Some great feedback of people who have tapped into local places that are opening their doors, and caregivers are able to find childcare and come to work, which is so great. And all of those providers are listed on the COVID internal site, so you can go and find that listing there. The other thing, be mindful of the Centra Connect Facebook page. This is something that we have all the time, not just during COVID-19, but as an extension of that, we have a COVID-19 resource Facebook page as well, where you can connect with fellow caregivers. And we talked about, maybe you have extra toilet paper, let's just say.
It's always
if anybody's got extra toilet paper that you could potentially share, or you've got some resources, or maybe you're in need of some resources. And so that's just a really good place for people to connect virtually. Keep the social distancing. And then the other thing, I don't know if you're part of Centra Connect already, you might have seen Chef Tim's I call it the caregiver pantry, where he has just collected lots of staples, food staples, and different things that our caregivers can go, especially frontline caregivers after these long shifts, hard for them to get to the grocery store, and just trying to balance life and work. And he has put such great effort around being able to provide things in addition to just, hey, come here and come to work, but also really taking care of people outside the walls of work. And so that's located right now at the LGH Cafe, but he is working to place a similar pantry in all of the hospital locations. Yeah. And so more to come on that. So those are resources that we are we're currently talking about, and that are currently underway for you. So we've talked about resources and self-care. And so we also want to talk about financial, because that's a big thing these days too. What should we know there?
So one of the things that is available to our caregivers, and this is again related to our retirement plan, through Transamerica, they have put out an excellent webinar. I actually was able to catch some of it today, around everything that's going on with COVID-19 and how it might be impacting your retirement planning right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they have put together some great resources, and we should be able to make that link available to you in this email as well, so that you can take a listen in if you want. As a reminder, CJ Bishop is our representative of Transamerica. She is also always available to chat with you guys and make sure that you have all the things that you need and your questions answered in regards to your retirement planning right now. So we'll have all that information included for you to review as well.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's one less thing for you to worry about. So we're grateful to Transamerica.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of being grateful, we end every video talking about how we are so appreciative of our caregivers, what resilience and strength that we have shown as an organization through just a changing and fluid landscape. And that leads us to talk about appreciation and how important appreciation really is every day, but especially now.
Yeah.
Aubrey, tell us about that.
So I don't know about you, but I think a kind word spoken, a note written is always just something that brightens your day. No matter if you're having a terrible day or a good day, it always just makes it a little bit brighter. And so as we are walking through this season, we just want to remind you to take moments out of your day to share a note of appreciation. You can use our platform, thanks to you, to do that. There's so many e-cards available and little cute notes that you can send. You can personalize them, and just remember to share the nice thoughts with your caregivers. You can write a little thank you note or just a note of encouragement. But the other things we want you to remember is just to be empathetic towards one another. These are certainly strange times, and just think about how we're interacting and responding daily. You know, I have to really think outside of the box because I don't have children, and I know a lot of the people I'm working with right now do. So how do I think about what they might be dealing with and how I can encourage them throughout the day, walking through a different experience than I might be having. So just those little tips to be thinking about as you go throughout your day, to never miss an opportunity to recognize the great work that's being done around us.
Yeah, absolutely. Our words are so powerful, and they can elevate and really encourage, or they can tear down. And we certainly want to be mindful of the words that we're saying in this time and use our words to encourage one another and build one another up. Well, Sandra, thank you once again for tuning in. We are so appreciative of every single one of you. We're very grateful for your support and your continued dedication. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you again next week. And as always, we encourage you to do well, to think well, to be well.